Time to Budeshi, open it up. This is where we open it to fix it. Brought to you by the Public and Private Development Center, who are focused on educating, empowering, and mobilizing the integrity in governance. We can all agree we need a lot more of that. Today on Budeshi, we will look at the importance of open data systems in ministries, departments, and agencies. And it stemmed from the emerging digital trends, which have made it important to address the need for open data systems that make it possible for you and I, citizens, to have access to coherent information. Remember, just before the news, we were talking about how much was spent on the president's travels.
Health, right?
For 103 days. Not just his health, and, thank God he's better, but also how much was spent on the presidential jet and crew. Well, they need to have coherent information, and that's what we're driving at today. We're joined by Program Officer at the PPDC, Kachi Chukwu. Good morning, Kachi.
Hi, good morning.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Also a software developer at the PPDC, Kunle Adelowo. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, gentlemen, and thank you for stopping by.
Thanks for having us.
Well, first of all, let's start off from the importance of having these open data systems and MDAs. Kaji,
Okay.
how important is it?
It's very, very important. It's extremely important. As a matter of fact, data is actually life, if I may put it that way. I mean, there is really nothing.
Not phone data.
No, not phone data.
Not mobile data.
Not mobile data. Data in this sense, we're talking of public information, access to information. So, open data there is really no society in the world today that functions without data. You get so. As a matter of fact, modern democracy as it is today is purely based upon the idea that governments, institutions, and people in power can be held accountable. And the only way citizens can hold these people in power accountable is when they do have access to open data.
And how accessible, which is like impossible, how would you rate the MDDC in terms of making this very accessible?
Well, we wouldn't rate them so good because truly we are really most MBAs that I have come across in the course of the work, they really have this old system and old way of doing things. So even most of the administrative tasks is not really organized. They're still using maybe hard copy files, and things are getting lost here and there in the process of storing. And it's really important that this our ministries, the MDAs, really have to change their way and approach of keeping their data and making it accessible for citizens to engage with.
Okay. I know that of course this has been a yearly occurrence, even for us here. Your rankings, Ministries Department and Agencies, and then of course security institutions. Could you take us through that and what the experience has been thus far? There's always someone new listening, so.
Okay. So what we do at PPDC is every year we make FOI requests to different MDAs, requesting for their procurement, financial expenditure information, and at the end of the whole year we collect these records and we rank MDAs on various parameters such as proactive disclosure, timely information, level of disclosure. So the rankings, what we do is, the FOI law requires that you have 7 days to respond to information. So those who responded within the time specified by the law, well, obviously you rank higher. So during the rankings, of course, I think one of the main reasons why we have poor turnout in the rankings, where you have MDAs ranking low, is actually not because they do not want to give this information, but because they don't even have it.
Wow.
Yes, they don't actually have this information. It's funny, but you could actually just request for data just from January last year.
Yeah.
They don't have it. They do not. So when you try
Is that
requesting,
usually like
Even if they have it, they have to now they have to start gathering
from
files
different
here and
places,
there, and then
you know.
when with the click of a button you could just easily be accessible. So
Mm.
it's really about the way we keep our data and making it how accessible it is.
And considering the fact that we have a lot of animals damaging. Yeah, I mean, rats could eat up this file. So what
Exactly.
happens?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
so it's good that we move from the analog to the digital,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. Very good point.
And based on the fact that this helps in the transparency process,
Yeah.
because if you don't have data, then how else do you get the information? I think this is very important in the sense that it helps to open it up to fix it, just like you guys are campaigning, basically, so that people, not just you, but also the citizens will have access to information and basically work with such data.
Do you think we're up against a cultural paradigm that is adverse to technology? Do you think that's one of the issues that we're facing?
Well, I think to an extent, yeah, because most of I know we are also part of the campaign Not Too Young to Run. So I think it's really an old way of doing things. The mentality and the people holding this position, they still have this old mentality they are using to adopt or change as time has eventually evolved. So I think it's really somehow a cultural and maybe somewhat of a demographic situation that we have, because I strongly believe that if there were younger people who understood these technologies, I mean, it's even easier for you using these methods than the hard copy file. So who wouldn't want to reap the benefits of
Because I remember there was once I went to the Copyright Commission, and I had forgotten to access my my certificate for copyright that I had applied for, and I went about a year later, and the lady had to take about 45 minutes rifling through different files. Okay, no, let's check 2013, let's check 2012. When did you come again? And she went back and forth. It's only because she was, for some reason, she was really
And you have cases,
dedicated to her job that she actually went through the pains of going through that.
Yeah.
When really,
you also have
click
cases
of a
where
button.
you go to ask for some maybe a processing things through a ministry, and then you get to hear of people hiding files.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think these are some of the practices they encourage. If we refuse to adopt the
new
model,
methods,
but talk about all the importance of MDAs actually keying into this.
Okay, so like we said, like Kachi initially said, data is life. So opening up data has a lot of benefits to it. Number one is that it fosters transparency that cannot be removed by the society. So and really again, it really helps in decision making. Right now you can see it as just raw data, but if you take this data and you analyze it, you find out things that you'll be amazed at and will help you make better decisions even in the ministry. And let me just give a quick example. Like 2019 and the election is coming up, and most of us we are saying once we are getting our PVCs and trying to vote. And our decision on this voting, is it going to be based on sentiment or is it going to be based on facts? So are we going to vote the next person in based on what we feel is the right thing, or based on what is really going on? So and that speaks to data also, because if you look at what has been going on in the country and you have data to back that up, you see clearly on the right path to go. So that's really, really important.
I'm really stuck on the point you made about transparency, because it really is important to realize that you can't have transparency and accountability if you don't have access to data. Because at some point, how you rate an administration or the performance of the Ministry Department or Agency, at some point it's just going to slide into sentiment.
Definitely.
So if you like the person,
you give the person the
you give the person the passport, or you say, oh, this person is trying. We've heard that many times.
Yes.
The president is trying, the governor is trying. No, this minister tried now.
Of course.
But then when if you don't have the data, then it just slides into conjecture, slides into sentiment. There's nothing objective,
factual, exactly.
there's nothing that you can even benchmark to say, okay, this Ministry of Power Works and Housing, this is how much they got in the last fiscal year. These were the projects that were executed. So how do we ensure that in the next 2 years we're improving?
Yes,
we're hitting milestones. We're making sure that we're making judicious use of resources. We're making sure that all the administrations we're plugging loopholes.
Yes.
How do we make sure that we plug those loopholes? How do we make sure that revenues come in and are used judiciously? If not, it just becomes entirely subjective.
Yeah, so in view of the very topic we're focused on today, the importance of open data systems in ministries, I mean, what are some of the changes you hope to see our ministries, departments, and agencies begin to adopt in line with modern and best practices in terms of open data systems?
First of all, we are strong advocates of open contracting. It's a very good step forward. That it means opening up your contracting details, so making it transparent to the public, and from there you can begin to track and see how we can even get more value for our money. When you look at this data, for example, seeing an MDA's procurement history, and you see that okay, this maybe they're trying to procure chairs. They've gone through maybe 3 different contractors. You can begin to compare which of these contractors actually did the best job and how should we go forward doing this. And also, things that open system can also help is that during the tendering process, it also helps that it's transparent, so that all those that that bidded for the contract are fairly awarded, and it's not just protocols are not being bypassed. So I hope to see that implementing this open contracting portal is a way forward. And at PPDC, we are happy to render assistance and give technological help to MDAs that are willing to adopt this practice.
Indeed. Well, do you want to join the discussion here on Budeshi? We're talking about the importance of open data systems in Ministries Department and agencies. Open data makes it possible for you and I, citizens, to have access to coherent information. Not just information, not just letters and numbers, but numbers that actually do make sense. Sometimes I've seen this, I've heard this said so many times, that when you look at the budget or you look at when committees are doing oversight, like the numbers just don't make sense. They fly over the heads of so many people. So it's not even just having access to information that's
making sense of.
That makes sense to even the most average citizen. If not, then work done is zero.
Yeah, I think another thing, if I may add, is when this data is not made available, it makes it difficult for people. Like we at PPDC, we were trying to make use of technology actually to make this data comprehensible to the normal citizenry. That's why we're doing Budeshi. When you visit www.budeshi.ng, you see, the way we put this information on the website isn't the way we receive it. Just so we put it in such a way that an ordinary citizen can actually make sense of this data. Exactly, a breakdown of this. But when you don't have access to this data, you can't even go about having innovations as to using technology and having applications. So that's to make data sensible to the normal citizens.
Indeed. Well, we want you to make some sense here on the show, so you can do so now. 09-4600-951, 009-597-4869. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Budeshi.
Okay, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah, my name is Comrade.
Thank you for calling, comrade.
Yeah, so good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, I just have to appreciate Budeshi under the auspice of PPDC. And it's a kind of program that is germane to the development of the country. If you look at the challenge that we have in this country, it's because we don't have access to data. We don't have access to information. And if we don't do all these things, we don't have access to everything. It's going to be difficult for you to do planning and implement. The project the PPDC is doing is high time the Ministry Department and Agencies and the state actors realize that they are not doing it for themselves. They are doing it for the betterment of the country. How will you plan for what the youth need. If you don't know the number of the youth, if you don't prioritize, you don't even profile what they need. In terms of the women now, you talk of maternal and of child mobility.
Yeah.
The data is important in the national development.
True.
And it's not only for them to hold on to it, they have to broadcast the kind of data they have. So by the time they are configured the budget, XYZ amount of money goes for this, we can be able to know that truly they have really budget for that. Because Nigerians, the money that they are budgeting is the commonwealth of Nigerian people. And another thing is that we have to look at our population. Those are the areas of the data that I want the PPDC to re-enter this support. And at the same time, work with locally community-based organizations that can be able to promise them with the happening in terms of the process and manner in which the data is being collected in different communities. And the NDAs on their own, as I said earlier, have to ensure that the PPDC get the necessary information and data and they give it to ordinary people, because the Freedom of Information Act has stipulated that every information about the government is not supposed to be in secrecy. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much. I think Comrade Lawal makes a very important issue about the fact that data is also used for development planning.
Yeah, sure.
So how do we know how much needs to go into health and how much needs to go into education when we don't have data as to? So 10 million kids are out of school. Where? What age?
Exactly.
Why aren't they out of school? Is it because of economic issues? Is it religious or cultural nuances? You know, those are the things that we really would hope are captured.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Can you turn off your radio, please?
My name is Bashir. I'm calling from Central area.
All right. Please go ahead, Bashir.
Yeah. So what wonderful work your guests are doing, the Budeshi Kenya, have been contributing very much in terms of development in this country. Obviously, the significance of data cannot be overemphasized. Government must be willing to be open to give data to public so that they will scrutinize in turn. And this will in turn help in development. And you will see that the reason why we always get reputation in projects and keep repeating similar projects doing the same thing over and over again, because the significant result is actually lack of proper data and analyzing the data before even going about to do a project, obviously. So data capturing, data analysis, and data, all of them are key factors that I think this team are doing very well in making it more open and more transparent to the public. And then one thing that I would ask is, I'm afraid is all these advocacies are coming all in the center, while the states are going away with him scot-free. That was even calling of giving states to create the power of policing themselves, but with nobody putting, all the civil societies are putting their efforts in the center, and nobody is segmenting any state in Nigeria. States are going away scot-free. All the civil societies are in the center. I'm afraid our civil societies have to start making efforts to start taking these data of what is happening in the states, what have the states done with this money. These data in the states too are key. Thank you very much.
Well, Bashir, stay tuned. You actually hear something that might actually address what you're talking about.
Oh, okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Bashir. All right, lost that connection. But PPDC is not domiciled just in the FCT. I mean, just last year you guys did Budeshi Waka. You guys spent about 10 months.
Yes.
Across the states.
Different states of the federation.
Delta, Kano, Edo,
Benue State, Anambra.
So no, you're not just
just the center.
Yeah, in Abuja, and you're looking to expand.
Yes.
This year, can you tell us about the opportunities that people who are looking to be part of our development process could take advantage of?
Oh, okay. Currently, we are running a call for community-based monitors in 12 states at the moment. We're starting off with extra new 12 states. We're looking for people who are interested in transparency and accountability in their community. So we're looking for people who willingly and on their own, they are interested in knowing about projects in your community, who aid us in monitoring projects in their communities as well.
So and it's important for them to, have a good familiar knowledge of the
environment, the
of
locality.
environment, so it can help them get into the groups and monitor some of these projects. That's good.
So right now you're announcing the call for Lagos and Kaduna.
Yes, there are actually 12 states in total. We have we need people from Abuja, Anambra State, Bauchi, Delta, Edo, Imo, Gombe, Kaduna, Kwara, Lagos, Osun, and Sokoto states. The 12 states in total.
Which 12 states?
Yes.
So if you reside in any of these states,
and you're interested in procurement money.
What are these issues?
Oh, so you can forward your CV to PPDC at procurementmonitor.org with a cover page letter.
so PPDC
At
at
procurement
procurementmonitor.org. Okay. So if you reside in any, can you go over the states again?
Okay, the states are Abuja, Anambra, Bauchi, Delta, Edo, Imo, Gombe, Kaduna, Kwara, Lagos, Osun, and Sokoto states.
All right. So forward your CV or let someone you know who resides in any of these states to go ahead and forward their CVs with a cover letter. PPDC at procurementmonitor.org. And then they'll be monitoring. You guys will give them the data,
Yes.
what to look out for.
Yeah.
Okay, Ministry of such and such says that they built a
So
10,
so and
a
so.
10 billion naira
Yes.
such and such.
So go and
that
evaluate
state.
and
So go and
see.
look for it. Burutu, I'll always go back to Burutu Delta State, where here on paper the Primary Healthcare Development Agency says they had built
it.
they had built the primary healthcare center,
Yes.
and it was your monitors that said no, there's
there was
nothing standing
there.
here. Has that been resolved?
Actually, the matter is actually with the EFCC right now.
With the EFCC now.
Yes.
You see? You see, this is the importance when citizens take information and engage with institutions, then we can see some change.
Yes.
But if all we do is gripe and complain,
Nothing happens.
nothing happens. But that's what the PPDC and the Nigerian Info Partnership is all about, driving people to actually be part of the conversation.
And to be a part of the conversation, you can always use the hashtag open to fix it, right?
Yes.
And as your Twitter handle.
It's PP Monitor NG, or you can like our page on Facebook, Procurement Monitor. Also,
on Instagram, we have procurement_monitor_issue. So you can reach us. Also, the flyers for the community-based monitors are also there in case you can get more information from our social media handle. You can also reach us on our telephone number 070-666-18896. Come again, 070-666-18896.
Well, Kachi Chukwu, Program Officer, Kunle Adelowo, software developer at both at PPDC. Thank you very much for all that you guys did.
thank you.
Thank you for listening and being part of Budeshi today. Appreciate it, and let's open it all to fix it. We'll be back after a couple of messages. Don't go anywhere. This